Hello? Hello, Miss Hock?
I want my paintings to be so imperfect and bizarre that they become lies. Lies that are more true than the truth itself. That's what Van Gogh said to his brother Theo, and that was in 1922.
I wondered.
George, there's another thing I want to tell you about. It's an idea from Scott Fitzgerald for a short story. One day, a man wrapped some mice in some cloth made up with pieces from an old carpet to avoid spreading germs. So then, would you believe, a few months later he released the mice, and he found that around the house there were little mice with the same pattern as the old carpet on their skin. How curious. He did not suspect a thing like that could happen, but it happened.
And that really happened then.
Of course it happened.
Yes. Moving on. I wanted to ask you about that work you're going to paint in Lorette for the architect. Painting architecture, not photographing nor filming. This is clearly something new. Explaining architecture in a new way. I've seen some images already, but are there pictures of movement? Like a painting of a naked woman lying on the ground, some colored panels, the bear, some musicians in white tuxedos, and other bizarre characters. I imagine there are models for the painting. Architectural references, some precise quotes from cinema, Las Meninas. Could you please explain?
Yes.
Yes, I wanted to ask you about the bear.
Yes.
Well, the bear, the painter, the musicians, your assistants are also there, even your gallerist, and ultimately also Marlene Zinanita.
Oh, I adore Marlene Zine and ITAP.
Actually, well, how did you get her to participate in this project? An Oscar diva, so in demand by all the top directors.
Stop it, darling. Sit, darling. Darling, what have I told you?
Excuse me, Miss Hock?
Good girl, sit there. Good girl.
Miss Hock?
Well, history of art is a dialogue between the desire to be closer to reality and the difficulties to achieve it. We need to accept the existence of ambiguity that lies somewhere between reality and fiction. All discipline is a fiction presented as true, after all.
Mm-hmm.
Before, I was interested in the folly, in the errors of man. Now, I'm interested in the truths of nature. Having said that, I like colour. I have a tendency to interact with the places that I'm in. When I'm in a place, I often finish by painting it. Even Paris. It's wonderful to live between colours, especially strong colours. After all, the object of my endeavour is to look at this space, the library. Not only looking, but observing. And that's when you find the interesting angles, and that's when I'm able to express the emotion that I feel. It's the pleasure of feeling alive, of being able to see things and the space itself. This is where you can find my attraction to painting. People can see the spaces in the way that I saw them. Yes, I like my paintings.
Going back to the meaning of these characters.
A few years ago, I had a conversation in Gibraltar. It was with an English lady. I remember the incident very well. She was wearing a curious print dress with bunnies all over it. She said something like, "I do not like things. I am a strong woman." Do you understand what I mean, George?
I think I'm getting
I
the
do
idea.
not like things. I mark dots to places. Those are the sites that I will come back to. Just like Marlowe in The Heart of Darkness, when he spotted on the map of Africa the places he would later explore. You see, for that reason, I also decided to paint this library. It is a world in on itself, you see. A chance to live.
What do you...
Goethe once wrote, Beware of those who invite us to know ourselves. It is in the world that we need to reflect upon ourselves. This world is complex, unrelated, you see. Reading the ambiguity. This should be the modern eye. And, well, the price to pay for it is a conscience of complexity. To understand is to complicate. Images cannot comfort us anymore. They can even be disturbing. But they clarify, they vivify. My friend Daniel, the architect, said...
Miss Hock, yesterday you told me that you didn't like quotations, actually.
Instead of listening to what an artist says, dear George, observe what they do. I listen.
Really?
I look. I manipulate. I lie. I do make mistakes. And I start again. All over again. Why not? I don't think in terms of time. I think in terms of space. And at the end of the day, things start to take form. I think in terms of music. This is good. This is very interesting. I don't know. This is contradictory. Maybe. Don't trust it. I wouldn't trust it.
And the symbols, then?
The ambiguity, the doubt, and the incertitude are a substantial part of my work. The mélange, the paradox, the simulation, the simulacrum, the game. After all, to observe is to invent. Behind the accumulation of all symbols always lurks a lack of meaning. The lack of meaning requires criterion, and this requires opinion. Opinion, reflection, and ultimately reflection, skepticism.
So, Miss Hock, what you mean basically
Darling, the whole world knows that skepticism and humour live hand in hand. I also dislike things, but I like the rhythm of things keeping tempo.
Miss Hock? Miss Hock, hello? Are you there? Are you there, Miss Hock? I can't hear you.